Welcome to Post Fight with Ray Thompson. This show is powered by MMA Crypt and MMA Mental. For more interviews and podcasts, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, MMA Crypt and MMA Mental. You can also follow MMA Crypt on Facebook and Twitter. It's at MMA Crypt on Twitter and MMA Crypt on Facebook. To follow me, it's at MMA Mental on Twitter and Ray Thompson on Facebook. I'm now joined by Vik the Spartan Grujic. Vik is coming off of a UFC victory, beating Chris Indich via round 1 TKO, taking his pro record to 7-3 and his UFC record to 1-1. Vik, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. Congratulations on picking up your first UFC victory.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the build-up to the fight. So the first thing I want to ask you, what was your views on facing a teammate from Tough Nations?
My approach is very professional to the fight. Granted, there's a lot of, I guess you could say violence in a fight, so naturally we have to hurt each other, and it's an unfortunate part of what we do, especially when you're facing a friend. And, Chris Indich as well, he's very professional, so, we both went into it, knowing there's going to be no hard feelings, and, this is our career, and this is what we do, we get up, we go to work, and that's our job. Unfortunately, that just comes part and parcel with what we do, I guess.
What was your game plan going into the fight?
Look, I was fairly comfortable and confident all three ranges. My striking's always ever improving, my wrestling ever improving, especially now training out of the Alliance. Great team of fighters down there, and my ground game, I know, I'm pretty well rounded all the way around. So I was comfortable just to go wherever it was going to go, but I wanted to, really showcase something. So, I just wanted it to just flow. That was my thinking in that fight.
Now, you got Indich down to the ground. Will you talk us through the takedown?
Yeah, sure. I tried a few attempts. I wasn't completely settled the first couple of takedown attempts. I was trying for a couple of single legs, and eventually threw a combination up against the cage and dropped down for the double and picked him up and took him down and found the mount rather easily, and transitioned over to his back. And I had the choke kind of slipping in a little bit, but I felt he was going to defend. So one of the variations to the rear naked choke, we were working at Alliance with Coach Neil Mallinson, and it was the transition from the rear naked to the head arm triangle. So I was trying to convert to that, and but unfortunately Chris was on my leg that was planted on the ground as I was trying to move around. So he slid out, and unfortunately I couldn't get the submission I was looking for. But at that point I pretty much just kept the pressure up against the cage and started throwing some heavy shots and smelt blood, and went for the finish. Yeah,
I was going to say, that was my next question. He was able to scramble back to his feet, and then of course you finished the fight. So talk us through the end of the fight.
Yeah, I know when I've got a person hurt, and I'm when I can put the pressure against somebody against the cage, and I've got some fairly heavy hands, and I know how to throw them pretty well in those positions. So I got a couple of shots in. I could hear them hitting pretty hard, and I felt the impact was pretty solid with a few of those punches. And I knew I had Chris hurt, so I just kept throwing, and I heard the 10-second warning clacker go off, and I just threw everything I had, and then I seen him actually I think it was a uppercut followed by a left hook that I threw, and it was on that left hook that I pulled back because I seen him coming through for left hook as well, and that pretty much led me straight into the counter, which I come through with the 1-2 after he'd thrown his left hook, which finished the fight, and I was extremely happy with the finish.
It was a great finish to watch. What was it like for you to get your first UFC win?
Amazing. I've had a few wins with fights in the past, of course, but this was massive for me in terms of achievement, but also securing myself in the UFC in my mind, the way I saw it, and it was very important for me to get a win like that. Not only did I want to win, but I wanted to win in fashion, to either knock my opponent out, submit, or definitely at least finish in some fashion. So to get that type of win in front of worldwide fans, you're talking millions of people watching that fight. So, it was amazing, man. UFC, it's get a chance to fight, and it's one thing, but to finish a guy and have that, it's an amazing feeling, amazing, and I'm still reeling off that win.
Well, we know fans like finishes, and we know Dana White likes finishes, so you certainly left an impression there. Now, obviously, you obviously, like I said, you're one-on-one now in the UFC.
I was just going to say I'm a major UFC.
Say that again, Vic.
Go. We're getting a bit of delay here.
Yeah, say that again, Vic.
No, I was just going to say I'm an extremely big UFC and I'm an extremely big UFC MMA fan myself. So one thing I love to watch is guys that finish fights, and I really don't like watching guys that stall and try to play out the points system, and really annoys me. And as a fighter, I always look to finish regardless, and that's something that the fans deserve.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan for years, and I'd much rather see, even if you don't get the finish, at least if you're working for the finish, it makes it much more exciting to watch. So I definitely agree with that. Now, any idea then? You're 1-1 now in the UFC. Any idea on who you'd like to face next?
Look, I definitely, I'd like to fight somebody, obviously a good competitor, and not somebody from within Australia again. So, we've got the Sydney event rumoured to be coming up in November, and I'd like to be on that card. And if that's the case, look, I haven't really thought of opponents, and I haven't really thought of anybody, and I just want to find my feet in the UFC, and if Joe Silver and Dana get together, or whoever's going to throw the matchup at me, I'm sure they're going to look at the contest and see what's going to be a better fight for the fans and for myself in terms of my career. So I'll just wait and see what the UFC says, and and I'm excited to see whatever comes up next, man. Because it's an amazing time in my life.
The next question was going to be when would you like to get back in, but ideally then you'd like to get in on the rumoured Sydney card in November.
Definitely. I'm looking to try to get some surgeries at the moment that were quite long overdue for the last few years now. So with a bit of time off at the moment, I'm going to try to get some of these things done and heal up and try to be ready to go by November. If that's the rumoured date, that's when that happens. But if it's at a later date, it'd be even better. But Sydney would be ideal for me. So I'd love to fight in home soil, most definitely.
Well, thank you very much for giving me your time today, Vic, and congratulations on picking up your first UFC victory.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
And before we let you go, Vic, just like to give you a chance to do some shout-outs. So anyone you want to thank, trainers, sponsors, and also if you want to shout out your Facebook and your Twitter?
Definitely. Look, Alliance MMA out in San Diego, all the coaches, all the fighters out there, great group of people, friends, talented coaches and fighters. My sponsors, I have SEBO, Amicus Lawyers, Jemison Developments, and of course Universal Finance out here in Australia as well. And of course my lovely wife Rita, who is the rock and the foundation in my life. And without her, it's I'd be nothing. So to her, I thank so much for everything. And if you want to check me out, look me up, Vik Grujic, right across social media. That goes for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So Vik Grujic, check me out.
I look forward to seeing you on that Sydney card, Vic.
Awesome. Likewise. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for your time, mate.